Hello, my category is Behavioral and Social Sciences, and my code is JBE-3. My question is, does a visual reference affect a person's ability of quantitative estimation? I believe this topic is important because it occurs in our daily lives, such as how long will this chore or something take, and how long is this object that I will be using, and will it actually be the right size for the job? So, there are a couple real-life examples in articles, such as Dr. Tsef et al., where he says we need to estimate the amount of time a surgery would take to stay on schedule. In order to conduct this, in order to get results for this topic, I conducted 2 experiments. The first experiment consisted of 2 groups, each with 18 people. The first group was given a jar of 268 marbles and were asked to estimate the amount of marbles in the jar. The second group was also given the same jar, except they were also given a reference bottle filled with 50 marbles. The second experiment used length. The first group was given a 59.7 centimeter stick and were asked to estimate its length. The second group got a 67.3 centimeter stick, but also got a 30 centimeter ruler to compare. The results did not completely support my hypothesis. I performed a 2-sample t-test for the first experiment, and it came up with a p-value of 0.008, which basically is, I do not support your hypothesis. The hypothesis being, the group with treatment will do better than the group without treatment, or the group with reference will do better than the group without reference. So here, with the graph, it shows that a visual reference does not actually help or positively impact an estimation. Instead, it negatively impacts it. For the second experiment, another 2-sample t-test was conducted. This time, it got a p-value of 0.234, which is not substantial enough to support my hypothesis. However, as you can see by this graph, the 2 means are about the same, which basically supports the idea that it is not substantial enough. But you can see that the standard deviation is a lot smaller, so therefore we conducted a 2-sample t-test on the relative error of the guess estimations, and it got a p-value which was very certain that it supported my hypothesis, which basically says that a visual reference will positively impact an estimation in precision. In conclusion, the first experiment shows that a visual reference does not positively impact an estimation. It actually seems to negatively impact it. For the second experiment, it doesn't really impact like the average guess, but it positively impacts precision of the guesswork. There are explanations for this. For the first one, I believe that they did worse. The treatment group did worse because of human deception. As you can see, the reference bottle is not completely full, so they might have focused on the not completely full part and underestimated, or they could have focused on the actual bottle part and overestimated. I believe that the reason why the means are about the same is because of skill. Comparison can only take you so far, and after that it's about only skill. Here, the skill should be about the same because they're all like untrained people, so yeah, the means are about the same. However, the ruler comes into play, and the ruler greatly decreases the range of the estimations they would likely make, as it is greater than 2 rulers but less than 4. My future work will be to use different amounts or different variables such as time, and also to change the sizes of the things that we're measuring, like larger objects and smaller objects, and greater volume, less volume, and yeah.